Time brought to you by Ford and your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford, built for Texas, built for you. It is Dallas Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
One of the things that Dak said in the postgame yesterday is that was maybe the most humbling game that he's ever been a part of. I was curious your thoughts about those comments, and then also how long has it been since maybe you felt this way after a game?
Well, obviously a very difficult game. I mean, you got to start hats off to the 49ers. They came in and played well in all three phases, and unfortunately really, kicked our butt in all three phases. And certainly was a game that you don't put it on, you overlooked it or anything like that. We all knew how big the game was, and, they just came in and they out-executed us. And, unfortunately right now we're a team that's very up and down, inconsistent. And, if we're going to be the type of team we want to be, we've got to come in and week out and play with consistency. And certainly yesterday it was anything but that. And we just, from start to finish, we didn't play well in any phase, and consequently the results. But no question, a very, as Dak said, I think I read a humbling loss, and one that, there's a lot of football left. We got to get back to the drawing board and continue to work at bringing more consistency to our game. But certainly offensively, Shanahan had a plan and, did a great job against our defense. And offensively, we didn't execute and we didn't make plays. And certainly that's not a good recipe when you're playing a great football team like the 49ers.
When you talk about the team being up and down and seeking out that sense of consistency, I'm sure everybody on the team will take their fair share of needing to step up their game on that. But how much of that does that also fall on the head coach in helping this team find its consistency?
Yeah, I think it falls on everybody, from ownership to management to the coaching staff to the players. I mean, everybody, as you said, should step up and be held accountable. And, we certainly like our football team for the long haul, but we've got to bring consistency to our game. We've got to bring execution to our game. And we have to be better if we want to be the type of team that wants to compete for championships. And certainly we fell far short of that last night. And but at the same time, there's a lot of football left to be played. And we certainly believe in this team and believe that we'll rebound from this, and like the resiliency at the end of the day of our team, and think that we'll do what it takes to bring the consistency and execution to the field that we need to do week in and week out if we're going to be the type of team we want to be.
When you talk about everybody needing to step up, you mentioned management. Obviously, you are a huge part of that management. You, Will, Jerry, is there anything specifically that you have seen either last night or thus far that you're like, I need to work on that? What does management need to work on?
I just think, at the end of the day, you're accountable for the product that's on the field when you're management. And that's something that we have to continue to evaluate to see where we can improve in that specific area. And certainly it goes, from the roster to the coaching staff to the right on down the line. And whenever you have a loss like that, we all knew how important that game was. There's no overlooking it. We were healthy overall as a football team, and we just didn't get the job done. So we've got to go back and reevaluate what we're doing, continue to work hard. And like I said, until we bring consistency and execute week in and week out, we're not going to be satisfied.
The Rangers obviously are a game away from going to the ALCS, and they had a lot of ups and downs throughout their season. In fact, a huge down where they felt like kind of their season was over in Seattle at the end of the year and felt like they had almost like a second life that they did make the wild card round. And they asked a lot of people to step up, and it was like, we don't want to have that feeling again. I'm wondering who kind of you guys can look to in that locker room, on the coaching staff, and maybe it's a repetitive question, what you just said, of saying, hey, there's going to be some crap that happens through a season. We have to overcome this or we'll find ourselves in a really crappy situation in the end?
Well, I think you just said it best. It's not just you said it best about the Rangers. They ask a lot of people to step up. We have to ask a lot of people to step up. Starts at the top with Jerry and myself, and then Will, and then Coach McCarthy and his staff. And certainly we have players on our team that we know are fierce competitors, that have to step up, whether it's a Dak, a C.D. Lamb, a Zach Martin, a Micah Parsons, a D-Law, Malik Hooker, right on down the line. We've got a lot of good football players on this team with a lot of good football character, that I have a lot of confidence in that are going to take this and run with it and just say, hey, we have to be better than this. And, from top to bottom, we've got to ask everybody to step up.
Is there any concern? I don't know if you've seen the videos. They were circulating out there a lot after the game of CD and Dak clearly upset at one another, or CD maybe being upset at Dak Prescott. Do you think that's just a byproduct of the nature of last night's game, or have you heard if there's any issues there?
No, that's just, I'm sure the results, I think everybody had that frustration, as that game was coming to a close of just, feeling like we can be better than that. And whenever that happens, emotions run high. You want to see emotions run high. You want to have that competitive spirit come out. And certainly when you're not getting the job done, then, you see those type of frustrations. But those are all things that we can learn from. Certainly, I think we do have great leadership on this football team, as I mentioned, from Zach to Micah to right on down the line, the Zach Martins and the Tony Pollards of the world. I mean, we've got a lot of really good football players who are fierce competitors that there's no doubt in my mind will step up. A lot of great experience on this coaching staff of coaches who have coached championship teams, coached in championship games, and know what it takes to win at this level. And, we, as an organization, albeit it's been a while, all know what it takes to win a championship. And, we've got to all step up, rally, and I think good things are going to happen ultimately to this football team because there's a lot of football left.
Stephen, how well do you feel like Dak has grasped Mike McCarthy's offense?
I think he's I think he's grasping it for sure. It's a work in progress. There were changes, and I was talking to Chris Collinsworth on the sideline. I mean, you don't just get your hands around something what you're trying to accomplish. In the first part of the season, we have to build. We have to learn from tough experiences like we went through last night. But I think this group will only get better as they continue to get their hands around everything that we're trying to accomplish in this offense.
Is there like a time in the season or a stretch of games where you would hope that Dak has, maybe not mastered the offense, but has as good of a grasp as you'll probably get in year one? Does that happen? Go ahead.
I just think I think it's week to week. I mean, you want to get better every week. And that's what, we've got to continue to do as a football team. Obviously, we didn't get that accomplished this last week. And, hats off to the 49ers. They probably had a lot to do with it in terms of, playing a very seasoned team that, has been proven, to be a great defense. Obviously, they executed at a high level on offense last night. And, they dominated the game in all three phases. And we have to go back to the drawing board there, learn from that, and continue to build on a lot of the good things we've done this season, and certainly, learn from where we've struggled and get better.
Stephen, as the game got out of hand, the national broadcast concentrated a little bit on Trey Lance, obviously being with the 49ers. You guys traded for him, and I have no clue. I haven't heard any update on him. Since you guys have traded for him, how has his progression happened in your organization?
I think he's doing a great job for us. I think he's, certainly embracing his new opportunity here. Obviously, when you get a guy who doesn't get to go through any of the off season or training camp, and you have an established quarterback in Dak Prescott and a solid backup in Cooper Rush, you're not going to get a ton of opportunities other than on the practice field, working with the scout team, and then working your butt off in the meeting rooms and learning the offense. And that's exactly what he's done. So we feel good about Trey and what he's doing with us. I know he'll continue to grow.
Does he get any first team reps, or is there plans to try to have him work with the first team to have an idea what it'd be like to work with the best?
No, those things will evolve in time. And I know Mike and Coach Shotty, we all have a plan for him right now. The most important thing for the Dallas Cowboys are to win football games. And certainly we're focused on that. We certainly understood when we brought Trey in here what the situation would be like, having, our starting quarterback established in Dak Prescott, to have a good solid backup in Cooper, and knew he would get most of his reps, if not all of them, in the scout team. But the bigger thing is learning week in and week out in the meeting rooms and, getting your hands and embracing, our offense.
I know penalties in general are always frustrating, but any extra level of frustration with, we're looking at the Donovan Wilson, the multi-penalty call after Wanye Thomas broke up a great pass, looked like it was going to force a punt. There was a couple penalties called there, but the taunting penalties or the pre-snap lining up in the wrong spot penalties, are those more agitating than just you're clearly going to get caught for some penalties here and there?
Yeah, I think when you play aggressive, you're gonna have some penalties. That's part of it. Certainly we had some inopportune penalties in terms of our situation last night, and those are critical situations, and obviously an area that I know Mike and Dan and everybody will focus on. So we just got to continue to work to be better as a football team and improve. And as I said, there's a lot of football left, but we've got a lot of work to do.
Since there's more football games left, Stephen, it's not the end of the season. Is this kind of a 24-hour rule that you're still in, I'm ticked off, I'm not happy, and then by the time you wake up tomorrow, you're like, all right, it's on to figuring out these issues and moving on to the Chargers?
Well, I think it's all the above. I mean, we've got to obviously take this in, see where we can be better, where we think, where we miscued in terms of preparing our football team to play a big game. And then, as you said, we've got to move forward and focus on getting better as a team, and look forward to getting after the Chargers.
Well, we're still within that 24 hours. Do you want to take this opportunity to vent some more frustration, maybe with us, maybe with anybody else?
Like I said, we're still very positive about this football team. There's a lot of football left to be played, and we've just got to, we got to take some of the ebbs and flows of our inconsistencies and be consistent and continue to work on executing week in and week out. And I think good things will happen to us.
Is Leighton Vander Esch, is there an update on his injury situation?
No, we haven't gotten an update on him yet.
Okay. Appreciate the time. As always, very much, good sir. We'll catch up with you next week.
Thanks a lot, guys.